So, Luka Doncic is one of the greatest passers we've ever seen in NBA basketball.
No offense creation. Alley-oop, counted on a foul. Doncic, the perfect pass.
I know some people don't like the play style of Doncic, but one thing you can't deny is how masterful he controls everything on the floor. When looking at this action, the screen is set up high, which forces AD to come to meet Doncic at the level of the screen. But when dealing with solid ball handlers, they can just shift directions to now split down the middle. With Luka Doncic at the center of the floor, he can choose between multiple options. For one, he could decide to get into a floater himself as PJ Washington stays put in the paint. For the second option, he could send it over to Reeves on the wing as his closeout won't even get there in time to stop the shot. And for the third option, he can go ahead and lob it up to James on the backside cut. Plays like that made me dig deeper and analyze how one play can break an entire defense. Because not only will Luka lob it up to his teammates, Doncic will also predict that the help will be ready to rotate to the middle of the paint and then whip this with extreme force to the opposite corner for Rui to connect on the three-pointer.
Rui, corner, count it.
For some people, they might discredit his passing and say he depends on screens, but in all reality, you have to have the vision and correct timing to complete these passes on a consistent basis. When he uses these screens, it's not like he'll always have the option available when immediately coming off, as here you can see that there's 3 Houston defenders surrounding him. So Doncic continues into the lane to make the defense collapse even more, and right now he has the kick out to Rui on the wing available and the kick out to Vando in the corner. But here's where patience and deception come in handy, as Luka looks at Ayton as if he's gonna lob it there, which makes Finney-Smith drop in even deeper, and now this kick out to Vando makes for a wide open jumper. These mind games Luka can play with the defense on these actions is truly rare in the league. While most players would try and send the pass right away to the big on the roll so the double doesn't stop them, Luka understands that he has a little bit more time to get the pass off. And it's in that split second of waiting that makes Ace Bailey think, should I guard the big on the roll or should I guard my man on the outside instead? And once we roll the clip, you're going to see Doncic looking towards the corner, which baits Ace into stepping that way, opening up a pass right down the middle. Now listen, I hate that it seems like I'm picking on the rookie, but hey, blame Luka, not me. Because when the screen is set here, you're going to see Austin Reeves coming up the floor to flare out, and that's why Nurkic is pointing for Bailey to chase him. But right now, Ace is more focused on the odds of Doncic, who's looking towards that corner. This is exactly why I call it mind games. Because now Ace is moving to the beat of Luka's drum, and Doncic knows this. So he stays locked in on that corner the whole time to basically freeze Ace in place until he knows that Austin can catch and fire before the contest, which leads to an and one. Yeah, his control on the floor is ridiculous, and this is why guarding Doncic in the pick and roll isn't about stopping one action, it's about surviving the chain reaction that follows. Defenses will start to send doubles at Luka to slow him down, but this here is their first mistake, as when you send 2 defenders at him, this shifts your entire defense. When looking at the floor, Jaren Jackson is supposed to be on LaRavia, but since Ayton is rolling to the rim uncovered, he has to be in this weak side help position to take this away. GG Jackson does a good job of tagging to help out, but now with LeBron rotating over, this gap between both LA players is massive. Now you might ask why that matters, and the answer to that is that Jackson has to be ready to split the ground between them to be ready to close out on either or now that Jackson is stuck on Ayton. And as you can see, he recovered right back out to LeBron instead, giving Luka the golden opportunity. In moments like this, a lot of guys would rush or get out of control, but that's not Doncic. He enjoys having the defenders on a string, making them follow his every move, and right when that opening is present, he'll show them why you can't just follow him blindly. This patience here continues to unlock different options on the floor that Doncic could explore, such as a skip pass across the court to connect for a tray ball. He could try to thread it to Ayton on the roll, so that's why you see Aldama sliding off Vando to be ready for that. And last but not least, Luka doesn't always have to make that fancy pass when he has defenders in his palms. He can simply just send it right over to LaRavia, who's uncovered for 3 points. Listen, I'm not sure if the defense got the memo or not, but these doubles, they don't scare Luka. They're more of an invitation to the party. And what's funny is that once they notice they let Luka into the event, they try and send security, but he still outplays them. Now hold on one second. I need y'all all to listen to me. Now the reason I'm saying that is because I finally found what they didn't want us to see, and it's called Polymarket. Let me get on my phone so we can go through it together. This is Polymarket. It's legal in all 50 states, and instead of betting against the house, you're trading a live market. The 76ers are at 76% to beat the Pacers. Now right now, I believe in Philly, and I think they're going to win this game over them. So I took the trade, and now we just wait. If I wanted to cash out right now, I could. I'm talking about instantly. No lockout, none of those cash out unavailable prompts. And if at any point I feel like this trade isn't going my way, I don't have to sit there and pray into the final buzzer. I can go ahead and just cash out immediately and cut my losses. I believe in the Sixers, so I'm going to go ahead and let it ride. And guess what? They ended up winning, so it's time for me to go ahead and cash out. Now compare all of that to the other sports books. They make you place and lock in a bet, but over here, we just got trades that we can go in and out of. $10 free is waiting on you. Just go ahead and download the app and use my code. And the fees, man, the sports books take about $9 on every $100 win. But Polymarket, they charge 1 cent. Now look, $10 free is waiting on you. Just go ahead and download the app and use my code. You don't need a card, no deposit, it's real easy. Once again, you can unlock that $10 through my link below. Stop letting these sports books steal your money and come over here and join the revolution. When teams send 2 defenders at them, it's always going to be the job of the weak side help man to be in position to take away this role. As you watch games around the league, you'll notice his pass is open more times than not, but Doncic is one of the main guys to deliver it constantly with pinpoint accuracy. When making these reads, they don't always flow like the play we just seen. Doncic will sometimes welcome the double completely before faking off one defender with the look at LeBron to then zip it across court for a smart 3-pointer. And then even if the defense plays this almost perfectly and has a guy in position who isn't too far from the corner but also is right near the lane ready to help, well remember, I said almost perfectly. And I say that because there's no way to play this perfect, as if you don't fully commit to one or the other, he'll make you watch him work his magic. These passes when the defense is far over in help can lead to secondary assist options if the big can make that connection, and that's what makes these setups so perfect because the big doesn't have to commit to scoring. But hey, if they feel confident enough, they still have that option. With great passers, they're not reading where the defense is at currently, they're planning 2 steps ahead of them. And this is when the defense finally realizes they're in trouble, so they'll play even more aggressive with their coverage. Thompson tries to get into his body over the screen, Adams stays connected off the hedge to force him out wide, and now KD, he stayed put to clog up this driving angle. All this attention is so Doncic can't shoot the ball or drive to the rim, but when you give a player this much attention while leaving one guy to cover 3 players, you're bound to get scored on even if it looks a little wacky. Just as that last play, we see 3 defenders all geared on stopping Doncic from continuing forward on this possession here. And if we take our focus off the initial pick and roll for a second, I want you all to look at Walter Clayton Jr. He's worried about that lob, but if you think to something we talked about earlier, he's more worried about Luka flinging it to that corner for that tray ball. Pair that fear of Nurkic letting Doncic score and the fear of Clayton allowing Luka to send it to the corner, and the outcome you get is an easy lob to Hayes.
Luka on the lob inside, Hayes too easy.
Well, they're going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, once you're sending 3 defenders at him, that's when you know you're cooked. And hey, some defenses will say forget it, just switch everything. But what happens when you forget to communicate the switch on this handoff so you both end up staying with Luka and just give up 2 points in close? That right there is a question for Ime Udoka and the Rockets. But when we shift over to the Kings, they actually guard this fairly well and end up stopping Luka in the paint. This here's where a lot of players would give up on the play and reset, but that just doesn't happen when you talk about the elite. Doncic knows he has the switch, meaning that Aiden has the mismatch. So rather than forcing up a bad shot, he baits the defense into thinking he's going to shoot that fade over the top, but it's actually a lob that fools them completely. These switches truly only work if they're organized and have a plan to get back to your initial man quickly, or else it's pretty much a done deal. After all these ways of breaking your defense down, the opposing teams will try to simply load the strong side, but when you play with someone who will get the ball to you if you just make yourself available, that's when guys cut back door instead of staying put so they can be another option for Luka to explore. And although it looks like the defense has covered all their bases and will be ready for anything Luka does, I want you all to guess where he passes it. Okay, 3, 2, 1. If you guessed the Aiden on this perfectly placed pass, then you would have been correct. You're thinking what I'm thinking. I know, that pass was risky, and so are a lot of his passes. He just makes them look easy. It's not many guys who can dish out the rock like this, let alone create many different scoring opportunities out of one simple play that's been in the game since it was created. Now this isn't me saying that other guys can't create out the pick and roll, but it's not many that have this many different looks they can go to and with accuracy on a consistent basis. Elite skills like this will break entire defenses, and that's what we get from Luka Doncic once he decides the court is his and everyone else is playing his game. Let me know in the comments what you think about Luka and his passing below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you're first to know when I upload. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.